arrived.
Hold on to your seats, kids. Here's Allie. Allison Moran joining us this morning. How are you doing, my dear?
Doing awesome. How about you guys?
Oh, we're doing great.
I have to ask a question.
You have a question?
I do. Miss Moran, I have to ask the question.
Oh, no.
Yes. Oh, so formal. Braced.
How do you feel now that we, as the Chicago Bears group, have finally gotten rid of Matt Eberfools or Matt Eberflus after that debacle against Detroit?
The greatest Thanksgiving gift anybody ever gave us was yeah.
I gotta tell Allie this story. Jody and I were driving home from the in-laws. We didn't see the final 2 minutes. We left when there was like 10 minutes left in the game because we figured, okay, Detroit's got this wrapped up. We had a long drive home.
Yeah.
Well, we're driving home here from Columbus, Indiana. Decided to stop to get something on the way home. Got home, and Jody's already exhausted, but she has homework to do, for her grad school class. And I said, okay, she's doing homework. Someone posted the final 2 minutes on YouTube. I took a look at those 2 minutes, and the first person I called was Victor.
Mm-hmm.
And he must have known I was going to call, and he said, "Say it." I said, "What the hell was that?"
That was just bad.
The stupidest possible use of time that I have ever seen in a game.
Gosh.
Ever. I mean, no, don't call a timeout with how many seconds left?
40.
Give me hell. Greg and I were calling those plays. It's like we're calling a damn timeout.
Put a timeout in your back pocket. You spent a timeout with 46 seconds remaining. Leaves you with one. You could still use the middle of the field and get in position. You were in position to kick a field goal. You take a sack, and the thing that pissed me off more than anything else, I'm not a Bear fan, okay? I openly admit it. I've been a 49er since 81. Joe Montana, thank you very much.
Of course.
But I've watched football for 4.5 decades. I've never seen that. No. I thought I'd seen everything with time debacles and timeout debacles and not having a timeout to use and the clock runs out. Hey, that happens to everybody, okay?
Yeah.
I have never in my life, in 4.5 decades of watching football, whether it's with my dad, whether it's with my mom, whether it's my grandpa, or whether it's with my wife, and she got in on the fun, okay? She got in on the fun. I never saw that.
It was the worst. I mean, I'll tell you, I have covered a lot of Bears games in my lifetime, and I have, and even all of Mark Trestman's bad offensive moves do not compare to bad time management. That was, I mean, it was such a no-brainer. And this guy is being paid how many millions to get the job done? I mean, I think the way he looked at it was there was a time when Caleb Williams could have thrown a pass, but those things are so risky. I mean,
an incompletion, for God's sake.
Yeah, and so I think he took a gamble and lost big, but but I still say that he'd proven very thoroughly over the past 5 weeks that there was no way that he should be the Bears coach for another second. And I'm glad they're moved on. I'm glad they've got this guy in now. I don't know, time will tell what's going to happen with the former offensive coordinator, but we'll see. We'll just see what happens over the next few weeks.
Waldron, when the Bears brought in Shane Waldron from Seattle, and I got word, I got wind of that.
Yeah.
And I said, the Bears hired who as their offensive coordinator? I looked this guy up, and he's coming from Seattle.
Yeah.
I told Snowman after the game finally concluded, I texted Snowman. I said, Monday morning, we are getting into the Bears decision making. No exceptions. The Bears are on the hot seat.
I said, and I told Victor, I said, you're leading off with that on Monday, and we all got a piece of that, and we still got more to do when it comes to the Bears tomorrow, because we don't know how they're going to perform against the beat up 49er team.
Mm-hmm. What?
Let me say this honestly. You got a beat up 49er team that has only half their pieces, including Christian McCaffrey going back on the IR. I still got a feeling the 49ers are going to hang 40 points on them, even with just what they have.
Yeah,
they got enough. I mean, they've got just barely enough, but we'll see how our new coach is going to unify the locker room, because that was one of the key problems was that the Bears have one thing that's impressed me over the last few weeks has been that they have been able to come back from almost impossible odds to actually make themselves competitive. Now, their biggest problem has been in those final closing seconds when everything's on the line and you can throw, you can do a pass, you can do a quarterback sneak, you can do a whole bunch of different things. But the thing is that they are really going to need to focus in. This game is very winnable. I mean, this game is absolutely winnable.
It is.
If the locker room remains, if they become in sync, if the new coach can get them all, not against the coach, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because they've got a chance. They've got a big chance, but we'll see.
Speaking of chances, the Golden State Valkyries draft is December 6th.
That's right.
It's coming up. I'm going to cover it live. I'm going to bring Allie in with me and these picks. And you got some predictions of who they could draft. Let's hear them.
Yeah. Well, let's remind everybody that this is the first expansion draft that's since 2008. That was when the Atlanta Dream came into being. And since then there has been no expansion. So this is a big and fun time for the WNBA. And understand that the Golden State Valkyries are allowed to get one player per team. And so USA Today and I seem to agree on a lot of these picks. So let's go to it. All right. The Atlanta Dream is going to give up Haley Jones. She's a guard. She's also a Bay Area native. Brian, you'd better write this down just to see. And what we can do is we can compare and see how right I was along with USA Today. Okay. Now, she was used as a point guard, but in her Atlanta days, but she's much better as a shooting guard. So, and so she really struggled with the Dream. And I think that it's a great pick. Now, Chicago Sky, my fave, my home team, Dana Evans. Say bye-bye.
Mhm.
Say bye-bye to our
I was thinking
favorite
that Dana
guard.
Evans is gone.
Yep, she is a restricted free agent. One biggest problem was that she was a starter. She was relegated to the bench when Marina Mabrey came in, and she really has struggled with the chemistry between her, Camila Cardoso, Angel Reese, Kennedy Carter. I say, and I still say, and you know my famous mic drop moment, re-sign the bitch, Kennedy Carter. She's found her groove
right away.
Yep. Kennedy Carter found her groove. She's got good chemistry with Angel Reese. She's got great chemistry with Camila Cardoso. You can't separate those three now.
No.
So, so Dana Evans is the most expendable of any of, and really Dana needs a change of scenery. She just needs it, and I think that she'll be very happy there.
Okay.
Now moving on to the Connecticut Sun, going with Veronica Burton because she is not Dewana Bonner. You know, but she's a reserved free agent this year, and she'll be a really good addition because she'll get more playing minutes, first of all, in Golden State than she ever would. Connecticut Sun is so deep at so many positions. The Sun is inches from being back in the finals. You know, they are just inches away. So let's hope that. All righty, let's move on to the Dallas Wings now. Kalani Brown, say bye-bye.
See you later.
The center. Yep. She is let's say, she averaged 11.7 points over the season, but she is more expendable than Satu Sabali or Tira McCowan. So the thing is that there are a lot of folks that that the Wings need to hang on to, because they had a losing season, but they're going to have to do some. Their core has been relatively good, so they only need a bit to get themselves back in playoff contention. Right. So because of that, Kalani Brown is the most expendable of those individuals. So the Indiana Fever, let's move Caitlin Clark out, right? let her become the goddess of the Valkyries.
Leave her alone, okay?
That'll never happen in 8 million years.
That takes 40 games off of me and Allie's schedule, and we're not with that.
Right?
Exactly.
That's 40 games. That's 40 games off the schedule. I don't want to even think about that right now.
Exactly. No, it's going to be Demiris Dantas. She's a forward, to remind everybody. Now, she had an MCL injury and therefore is the most expendable of the group. And there's it looks at this point as if Kelsey Mitchell is going to stay in the lineup. And so that was the one that I was most worried about. And so,
we both were in covering the Fever. We had to keep that backcourt together. Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. Now they get a full off season together. They all get time to rest. Everyone gets time to rest. We get through this free agent draft, And then you got Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark reuniting for another season. They got a season under their belt. Stephanie White is their coach.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's
boy.
Yeah, that's going to be a great rivalry with Liberty. It's going to be it's going to be a great season. I'm looking forward to it. And if I'm remembering correctly, the WNBA sent out their schedules yesterday, and
you know I'm knee deep in schedules right now.
I know you are.
Three teams I'll cover: Indiana, Chicago, and now Golden State. You know I am knee deep in schedule.
Right.
I know you are. And I believe the All-Star game is going to be in Indianapolis this year.
Yep. And I am begging everybody there for 2 press passes, at least 2.
Right.
All right.
Give me a couple press passes, and we'll be good. I got my request in already.
I do
Great.
have to cover the Fever this year. I want to send a request to them to be their play-by-play voice.
I do have another question, and I want to take this to something that I don't think we talked about, which is women's boxing, because I know that a couple Fridays ago, everyone was really big on Mike Tyson on Jake Paul.
Yeah.
That Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano fight?
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't cover and haven't covered much in the way of women's boxing as a general rule, but I know enough about it to be dangerous, and I'd say look out for Katie Taylor.
Yeah,
Nice.
It was a vicious fight back and forth. It was entertaining fight.
I didn't see it. Yeah, tell me about it.
It was one of the more entertaining fights of the night. Back and forth all the way. Amanda had got some really good shots in the early round, but Katie had to hold on, and then of course Amanda suffered a really nasty cut on her eyelid, almost like it was about to peel off. It was really tough to look at, but these women were just so adamant, like they were really in their boxing, and I'm like, I wonder, like there needs to be a little bit more spotlight on the women's boxing scene as well.
You're right about that. There has never been quite the spotlight on women's boxing, women's wrestling, things like that, and women's volleyball for that matter. I mean, such incredible sports.
I'm gonna fix that.
A wise idea.
I got all kinds of plans to fix that.
I know you do, and the thing is, the men in my life express such surprise when women display aggression, and that shouldn't be the case, because hell, I've been a Spitfire. I'm a Spitfire, for God's sakes.
I've covered women's sports since 1995. I'm one of the few men in her life that ain't surprised, because I've seen it.
Yeah, it's so funny, because it's like, women, since the advent of Title IX over 50 years ago, have been that kind of aggressive, and they have been how do I want to say, taught into being that kind of aggressive. And this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody under the age of 35 that that women can be aggressive, that they trash talk, that they're in, that they can get as violent as any man out there, And I mean, I was taught out of it, when I was a kid. It was always, oh, come on, don't do that. Women are polite. Girlies are polite, and I'm going
ladylike, right?
Screw that.
Exactly. Thank you, thank you, Allie. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
I heard the same teachings from my mother, even up until my first year broadcasting volleyball, which was 1997.
Good Lord.
My mother kept saying the same thing. about women being aggressive. They can't. They can't be. They can't be aggressive. I look at my mother and go, "You want to bet?"
They absolutely
and this was after my first year covering women's basketball at Chicago State. The 96-97 seasons when I did basketball and I coupled it with volleyball. Oh, women can't be that aggressive.
I think.
Oh yeah.
I think it's like we know, like they know women can be aggressive, but it's one of the few times where you see them actually like in a contact physical sport like boxing.
Exactamundo.
Sure.
Like you
but
see
look how
in basketball, absolutely.
Yeah. But look how long has it been since Clint Eastwood made $1 Million Baby? I mean,
right.
Look at that's been well over 20 years, and you saw just a little piece of that world.
Yeah.
And it was aggressive. People do fight dirty. It shouldn't. I mean, that's a generation.
It shouldn't be a surprise at all.
No. And
but why is it still, Allie, such a surprise when they see that? In your opinion, why do you think it's still such a surprise?
I think it's just what people have grown up with for, and they're breeding that girls still are some kind of, how do I want to say, that girls are somehow supposed to be demure. I think that there's.
That's what I was going for too. That's exactly what I was going for.
Yep, and the thing is that I didn't never realized how lucky I was to grow up with parents who told me that I could do anything I wanted to do, and then I run up against the River Forest Park District who tells me that I can't play t-ball. I can't be in Little League.
Right. Say no more.
But I think
say no more.
I guest lectured for a now retired professor at Columbia College, and one of the women asked me, one of the students asked me about whether if there were ever going to be a time that women would be truly accepted as just another person in the locker room or in the booth, and Howard Schlossberg was his name, and he interjected. He said, "More people like me have to die."
The reason why I came up with this, because I mean, also, I don't think we're that far from when Leia Ali used to dominate.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah. About 15, 20 years.
Right.
Leia
Ali, Ronda Rousey, still remember?
Yeah.
Dominating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Women can fight. Women can definitely fight.
Women can fight.
Oh, women can
fight.
Women are dirty.
Women can fight.
They are dirty. They're dirty bitches. I tell you.
Jody played dirty with me one day when I was working on something here in the office. She comes by and she takes my headset off and she giggles. And she won't do that again. Put my headset back on. 5 minutes later, headset comes down again. And she walked away, and of course, as she's walking away, I'm drooling. I'm like, okay, let me stop. I put the headset back on. This is where Jody played dirty. Now she knows I am very ticklish. I was knee deep in editing something, and she snuck in here while I'm cursing at the screen because something didn't act right. And she snuck in here while my arms were up like this and right under the armpits, and she tickled me and I jumped. There have been so many times Jody has fought dirty, even on the air, even when the guys hear her on the air. Oh, dear God, yes.
Yep.
Greg has called me a devil woman at times as well. It's very appropriate. I'll leave it at that.
There'll be so many times, and I'm hoping Allie one day will be around when Jody sneaks up on me here in studio, because she's gonna do it, and I know she is. Whenever she's off, she's gonna sneak up on me here in studio, and sometimes she'll peek in. Shane has seen this. She'll peek in and go, "Mister, what are you doing?" And I lose it.
She caught us all off guard a couple of weeks back.
Yes.
Oh yes.
The debut of the commissioner.
When the commissioner made his debut, and I had laid on a thick Southern accent, and I put the costume on. The next thing I hear from Jody, I married a man from Chicago, not from the backwoods of Mississippi, and we all lost it.
We all lost it.
After she also said some choice words after that.
Right.
I love it.
That was
I love it.
I signed off. I went in the kitchen and was laughing my head off.
Man.
And she said, "I hope it wasn't too rude." I'm like, "Baby, you sold the show, okay?"
Yeah.
I told her, "Baby, you stole the show with that." And
I love that.
She says, "You're not mad that I came in?" I'm like, "Are you kidding? You're part of the." I told Jody a long time ago, "You met my guys. You're a part of the crew now."
Absolutely.
Exactly. Absolutely. Right. Oh my God. Absolutely.
Jody
love that.
Jody is such a sweetheart. And
see,
she's been the one that's been giving me the hint to cover more women's sports, which I am doing.
I love that woman. I love that woman. Never let her go. Never, 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 never. Yeah.
See that?
I love that.
This is a permanent talus.
I'm so glad. Yes.
This is a permanent talus, because this woman has rescued me 3 separate times.
I'm gonna ask you guys this question too, because you guys just talked about the All-Star game for the WNBA. Mm-hmm. Can we expect to see Sabrina Ionescu versus Steph Curry too?
I would love that.
I would.
I'd pay for that.
I would love to see that. I think it would be perfect. And you want to know something, if you don't mind my continuing on. I remember suggesting the same thing to the late great Les Grobstein, back when I was doing our show on WKRS back in between 2009 and 2012. And one thing that that he said was, "Are you crazy? This girl, they'd kill the woman. They'd pulverize them." And I said, "Don't be so sure." Well, at least their egos would get bruised. I'm going, so what? So what? And there's not a chance.
Right. I got mad when they were saying, well, like and the thing is, like, they did it from the men's line. She should have did it. How would she do if she was from the women's line? I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
She did that well against the men at the men's line.
Yep.
Exactly.
And only won by 3 points.
Right. Yeah.
And he had to hit his last shot to win it.
Yes.
He had to hit his last shot to win. Oh, that was so much fun. That was the only part of All-Star Weekend, I beg your pardon, that I watched.
Right.
I will make another prediction. This year, if they do have the contest, she's going to win.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised.
I would not be surprised. You know, we talked about here. They should reenact the Splash Brothers, Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, and have them go against the Splash Sisters, Sabrina Ionescu and Caitlin Clark.
Oh, love it. Love it.
That would be
love
nice.
it. That would sell tickets.
I would be so in attendance at Chase Center for that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I would be begging everybody for a few press passes so I can bring the crew with me. We all go to San Francisco. We see that, then we leave and go eat somewhere.
I love it. I love it. And then we can go back to my brother's house in San Francisco. And Roger, we're coming over.
Hey Roger, I got a bunch for you. You better cook some things.
He'll be happy to. He'll grill. I promise.
Sweet.
He's got a beautiful gas grill in his backyard, so we could do that. Should we finish up on my predictions in the time that we have left?
Please.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's do that. Let's go with the Minnesota Lynx. Say goodbye to Alyssa Pilley.
Oh,
The forward. Yep. Because the Lynx are so deep in so many places. And the one problem with Alyssa is that she just doesn't have the speed that that the other forwards have. I mean, so it's possible that with better conditioning and maybe more time, she'll be able to get a little more, get her skills into fruition with more of what a championship team takes. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's go. Also, the LA Sparks, Lee Giroux. She stepped in as at center after Cameron Brink had gone down with that injury, but Cameron's been working hard and looking good, and she's going to be back next season with a vengeance. So
I can't wait to see Cameron Brink.
She is going.
Cameron Brink.
She is, she had so much potential, and to go down the way she did I mean, that was tragic. I could have seen her in deep contention for Rookie of the Year if it hadn't been for that.
Cameron Brink and Caitlin Clark in the race to Rookie of the Year for me, and then Brink went down with that injury, and that hurt. It hurt me because I was waiting to see how Cameron Brink was going to bring the Sparks along. Who else you got in your dispersal?
Got the New York Liberties. Got Kayla Thornton. I say at forward. She's again, the team's deep, and Leonie Fiebich, the cute little German girl who made an incredible splash during the playoffs and helped them in big ways through the championship. There's no reason why they couldn't do that. But Kayla Thornton is just expendable. And more than any other player on that team. And so interestingly enough, with the Phoenix Mercury, I'm saying Celeste Taylor, the guard. She is. It's bad because this poor girl's been on 3 teams in her rookie season, and it's a troublesome thing. She plays solid defense, but the Mercury is a team. I mean, let's not forget that Diana Taurasi is still not retired.
Nope.
She's not retired. Brittany Griner is not going anywhere. Let's put it that way. She's not going anywhere either. And Celeste Taylor did not get that many minutes to play in the last season, and so she really needs to be on a team where she can shine a little, where she gets more minutes to play, and we'll see. Now, the Seattle Storm has another interesting possibilities. There's 3 that are possibles here: Sammy Whitcomb, Victoria Vivians, or Mercedes Russell. Take your pick. They have all shown themselves vulnerable, and any one of them would work.
I'm going with Mercedes Russell.
You think so?
There's just something about Mercedes Russell that would fit that team.
Yeah.
I think a new start for her would be huge.
It would be. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Jewel Lloyd is going to be around for like 50 years, so there's no way she'll be around for a long time. But yeah, and I mean the core group is terrific there, so that's what I'm thinking. Finally, the Washington Mystics. You've got Brittany Sykes. That's my prediction. Mostly because as a guard, she's aging. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
She's aging, but her age and her experience is going to be a real asset. And it'll help that young team. And the Mystics are kind of a mess right now anyway. Okay. So she could use a time where she could actually be of help, help build a team. Eventually she might even become a coach. That's my guess. So I'm thinking that for Brittany Sykes, a change of pace is going to be good for her.
Yeah.
So that's that would be where I think everybody's going to go. And I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to be glued to the screen.
I'm going to be glued
Thursday
to
night.
this screen over here and this one in front of me when we do live coverage of that draft. And we got a boogie. Allie, always a pleasure, my dear. Thank you so much for popping on.
This was great.
This is great. This was
love y'all.
All right. Thank you much, dear. Love you very much. Thank you.
Take care.
You have a great week.
Thank you. How can you go wrong with a little mic drop Moran to close things out?
Exactly, man.
That's our first 3 hour. That's our first 3 hour show. It's complete, and it went very, very smooth.
It really
I think
did.
it's going to even smoother than that. By the way, this is on the way. This Saturday, I'll explain as the week goes along. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We hope y'all are too. So long, everybody. Don't forget tomorrow, Bronze Sexual Confessions. Lots of them for hour 3.
Oh,
we're out of here.
Rob Manfred, quit screwing up baseball.
Please.